Well, hi, and thanks for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. Today I'm here with my Walther LGV. This is a fairly new rifle to me. Sadly, they're not available anymore. Well, they're available if you can find one secondhand, but they're not manufactured anymore. And it's a shame because it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rifle. It shares the trigger with the LGU, and I don't really care for the trigger very much, but there's an aftermarket trigger that you can purchase, which I ordered for this rifle, and we'll install that in another video, and hopefully that'll make a big difference. But I've been able to extract some pretty decent accuracy out of the gun, but I'm finding it very hold sensitive, and I also think I may have a slight problem with my scope where it's shifting zero, but only a little tiny fraction. It's not really all over the place, but it seems to be shifting zero, unless it's just me with an inconsistent hold. But at any rate, we're going to run it through its paces today. We're going to check that trigger, see what we've got for a pull weight. We're going to run it over the chronograph, and then we'll do a little 5-shot group. Some of you guys are going to be happy I'm finally into the paper targets. I've ran out of those splatter burst targets, but some of you complained that I was using those. I thought they'd be nicer for the channel. They give a little better effect, but some of you are looking for that precise measurement to see exactly what the gun's doing, and I understand. So I've got some paper targets out there, and we're going to be shooting at those today. So this ought to be fun. Stick around, and thanks again for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is have a look at this trigger and see exactly what kind of weight it is. I can tell you that it's not as bad as the one on the LGU, but it is still a pretty tough trigger to pull. So the one on the LGU I think was up around 3 pounds. I don't think this one's going to be quite that high. Well, we're going to give it a shot. Or actually, we're going to give it 3 shots just to see what we're looking at. Alright, still learning how to use this new trigger pull gauge that Mrs. Pellets and Pistons got for the channel for Christmas. Alright, shot number 1. Oh, that's not bad. 1 pound, 9 ounces, 9.2 to be specific, 1 pound, 9.2 ounces. I'll try that again. I didn't think this was as bad as the LGU. It's about half the pull weight of that one. I'm not a big fan of these triggers at all. However, the gun has so much potential that it's worth trying to do something about it, which is why I've ordered that aftermarket Rowan Engineering trigger that's available from the UK. We're going to see how that goes. It comes highly recommended, so hopefully it'll make a big difference. Shot number 2. Oops, I forgot to ready the... See, like I said, still learning how to use this. Alright, shot number 2. £1 pound, 13.9 ounces. It's pretty close to 2 pounds. Alright, we'll take one more shot. Shot number 3. 1 pound, 9.7 ounces. We'll take an average. We get 1 pound, 10.9 ounces. 1 pound, 10.9 ounces. So that's not terrible. I'd like it a little lighter than that. I like my trigger pulls to be usually less than a pound because I just do most of my shooting from the bench. One of the things you folks may have noticed is that this gun had a problem with the safety. I think I told you that in another video. There is no safety on this rifle. I keep reaching for it, but it's not there. And because of what I do and where I shoot, it's perfectly alright, but I could never sell this gun the way it is. I'd have to put the safety back in. But the safety renders the gun inoperable it's just a, well, we got into it in another video. I won't get into it now, but at any rate, we're going to move on to the chronograph testing, and we'll get an idea what this thing's producing for velocity. We'll calculate the foot-pounds of energy, and we'll put up the extreme spread as well, and we'll see what that looks like. So stick around, and thanks again, folks, for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel. Okay, so now it's time to run the chronograph numbers on the rifle and see what the LGV is producing as far as foot-pounds of energy and as far as velocity. We're shooting the H&N Barracuda match because this gun seems to enjoy those pellets. It eats them right up. We're going to be shooting over the chronograph. We're going to do 5 shots, and we're going to take an average, and we'll give you some numbers. All right, so let's check it out and see what's going on here. Shot number 1, 769. These are pretty heavy pellets, so that's to be expected. Shot number 2, 766. These are wonderful rifles. These Walther guns, if it weren't for the trigger, they'd be about as close to perfection as you can get. That's 765. That was number 3, I believe. This is number 4. 768. Number 5. And that was 774. All right, we're going to put those numbers in the computer. We'll give you the average as well as the foot-pounds of energy, and we'll tell you what the spread was, and then we'll move on to the target session. Okay, so we're going to take 5 shots at each one of the circle targets, the orange circle targets in that row of 5, right above the shorter row of 4. And if we're not doing too good, or if we seem to have plenty of time, maybe we'll shoot at those lower 4 too. But at any rate, let's start with the top 5 and see how we do. Now this gun is a lot more capable than I am today, so don't judge the gun too harshly. But I'm going to just try to keep them in the orange, but we'll be shooting for center bullseye on each one of these 5. Starting with the one on the left. All right. Just an amazing, amazing rifle. We had this out at 55 yards a couple of videos back, and it was performing just fine. Not too bad. All right, third bull. Okay. All right. I'm going to say anything. I don't want to jinx myself. This scope really doesn't belong on this rifle. It doesn't sit high enough. It needs to be a little higher. And it's just a cheap hammer scope. It costs less than $100. It's about an $80 scope. I like them. You know, they're decent for the money. They seem to do the job, but the glass could, you know, leave something to be desired. But for an inexpensive scope, I highly recommend them. And I've got it on here temporarily until I get all the bugs worked out of the gun. And when the gun shows me that it's worthy of it, I'm going to put something worth a lot more than $80 on here. All right, let's go for that last bullseye. All right. Well, I'd say the LGV did pretty good today. I don't know what you think, but I think that's pretty good. It's 25 yards shooting the H&N Barracuda match pellets. So anyway, I think it's worthy of a bell ring. So we're going to go ahead and reach out and touch that bell at 60 yards. And see how the LGV does on that old bell. There you go, folks. Well, I want to thank you all for stopping by the Pellets and Pistons Airgun channel, to ask you to subscribe if you haven't done so already, to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and hit that bell if you'd like to be reminded of future videos. I can't thank you enough for your viewership, folks, and have a great day.